Like when I think about three players, that's the question of the day for the Vikings. What three players excite you? First year, second year, and third year players. Fans at home listening, feel free to tweet this out as well, comment as well who you think or you can't wait for. But this is like I'm struggling with some of these guys, but this is the names that jump off to me. For my first year player, I got to go with Brian Asamoah. And this is why. I don't think he's going to be a huge contributor in base defense and some of these other schemes. But I think from a special team standpoint with his speed, looking for a linebacker with speed, I think Chaz Surratt was originally the thought. Like they thought when they drafted Chaz Surratt, they had that. They had an athletic linebacker that can really contribute on special teams, can come in some sub packages here and there, but really like special teams. Because when you think about linebackers on special teams, I go back to Bart Scott. Bart Scott was one of the best linebackers on special teams our rookie year with the Ravens, and you see what happened from there. He grew that persona, the hard-nosed, play every play, make every play guy, willing to do anything for any teammate. I feel like Brian Asamoah is that guy where he's tall, he can put on a little weight, but he's fast. And so when you're fast, you can play anywhere on special teams because you got a lot of space. Like defense usually happens like in a box, when you're a linebacker. And then you got a little bit of side to side, but it's mainly your side. Special teams, it's all over the field. Like those punt and kick returners can go anywhere they want. And so you really got to be dialed in on special teams to be able to be that guy to get down the field before they really get going and can make you miss. So Brian Asamoah is my guy there. Also, I like the fact that he can cover running backs. He can cover tight ends if they need him to. If they're looking at some different packages, if they want to leave Lewisine and Cam Bynum on the back end, Harrison Smith going after the quarterback. That's a guy that I feel like can contribute, but we'll see. For my second-year guy, it's kind of an easy one, but it's Christian Darasaw. When you think about offensive tackles, I mean, we're talking about, is Trent Williams one of the best players in the NFL? Is he the most dominant player in the NFL right now? I look at the size of Darasaw. I feel like he can become, because everybody's like, oh, you don't need a guy to choose gunpowder and all that stuff. Like, not in today's NFL. It's not the same. Like, you just need a guy who's smart, who knows the game, and honestly won't get into issues like that, won't get you penalties because they're playing too dirty and they're trying to do dumb stuff after the whistle and they're getting into fights with the DNs. No, you need a guy that's level-headed, that's not going to let anything get to him, that's going to keep the quarterback safe and protect his blind side. I think Christian Darasaw, being healthy, that was the big thing. He came in hurt last year coming off surgery. And so he didn't play right away. And everybody was so worried about, oh, my God, here we go again. The guy, he can't get on the field. He's not practicing. He's not out there. We drafted the first-round pick for nothing. Well, he ended up being really good. And now he's going to have a full chance to come out, a full training camp, a full offseason. He's healthy to be a first-round, the guy everybody thought he was going to be from day one now. He's going to be able to be that big body. So I'm excited about that. And the third guy is going to be KJ Osborne. I just think as a receiver, that third receiver spot, it's so undervalued sometimes in the NFL because it is a 1-2 dominant, league. When you think about Justin Jefferson and T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd became an afterthought at times. When you look at Godwin and what's his name, Evans, but what ended up happening? Tom Brady kept advocating for Antonio Brown. He's like, I need a third guy. So Brady knows. But there's so many teams like the Rams, they were like, hey, we got to get Odell Beckham in here with Cooper Kupp and to help out him and Robert Woods. And then Robert Woods gets hurt. They still win the Super Bowl. But I think that wide receiver 3, when you think about the greatest show on turf, you think about Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, in that group, and Ricky Prohl. You think about some of these other teams that have had 3 really good. I mean, you go back to Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and Brandon Stokely. You always need, like Brandon Stokely was the best addition. He was my teammate with the Ravens. He was the best addition for Peyton Manning, Peyton Manning said. Why? Because it gave him a guy that could catch 10 freaking touchdowns. 10 touchdowns as a third receiver. And not even a Hall of Famer. You got 2 Hall of Famers, and you got this third receiver catching 10 touchdowns. I think KJ Osborne can be that guy. Like, he could easily hit 10 touchdowns. Like, if you're going to overplay Justin Jefferson, and then you're going to say, okay, well, we got to make sure we have somebody over the top of Adam Thielen. KJ Osborne is going one-on-one with somebody, and he's shown he's dependable. That's why I think KJ Osborne can be that guy to keep an eye on with 10 touch. I mean, he's a 10-touchdown guy. He had 7, right, Sam? 7 was this year? 6 or 7?
Yeah, 7 this year. Machine.
So
touchdown machine.
That's an opportunity in an offense that wasn't real creative. this is going to be a creative offense. KJ Osborne can easily get 10 touchdowns. I think in a creative offense, like when you think about Peyton Manning with Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, and Brandon Stokely, I don't see why KJ Osborne couldn't do that and get 10 touchdowns. Like it's right there for the taking. Justin Jefferson with 20 plus, or not even 20 plus. I said, 18? So 18 for Justin Jefferson to break Chris Carter's record. 10 for him. I mean, it becomes Moss Carter and Jake Reed all over again. Adam Thielen with 10. There's 2 receivers with 10, another receiver with 18. That's Moss Carter and Jake Reed.
That's a big year for Kirk if that happens. That's a lot of touchdown passes.
But that's the thing. What did I say the number was for Kirk? 40. 40 touchdowns. That puts him at 38 with those 3. That leaves a couple for Irv Smith, 2 or 3. But I said 40. I said this was a 40 touchdown season for Kirk. You can give him 40 plus touchdowns and under 10 interceptions. Hey, you got to respect the game. Don't hate the player. You can hate the game, but you can't hate on him. But, Sam, those are my 3. I don't know if you have 3 out there.
Yeah, I'll give you a rookie I like, a Caleb Evans, because I want to see if he can crack this, at least be in the rotation to where if somebody got hurt, would they trust a Caleb Evans in a big spot? Because, who knows? A Caleb Evans, 2 rounds later than Andrew Booth, what if he actually picks up the defense a little faster? What if his technique is just a little sharper right away than Booth? And obviously injuries are a concern with Booth too. Could Evans find himself as that 4th or 5th cornerback where they might call on him in a pinch? I want to see how he does, how he fares on special teams. Second-year player. I look at the draft class from last year. They kind of killed it in the 4th and 5th rounds. I feel like Wong Wu is a big hit. Cameron Bynum is a huge hit. Amir Smith-Marset is a player that really excites me. And we don't know about Janarius Robinson yet. He might be good too. I think that kind of the middle of that draft might actually be the sweet spot for last year's draft. I'm going to go with Wong Wu. I think that he's just an electrifying presence offensively who's going to get a lot of run in the passing game. He's the kind of guy that kind of Robert Smith-like who could take a screen and then take it 60 yards. Like that's the kind of speed that he has and his shiftiness in open spaces. Really looking forward to his year. And then a third-year player, since you took KJ, I'm going to go with Cameron Dantzler, who I've been kind of talking up on this show. I think that he's sitting on a big breakthrough season if he figures out the end-of-game stuff, because that has sullied everybody's opinion of him, but he really has been pretty good in between kind of the late-game meltdowns. So I think that if he can just get his head on straight in the 4th quarter, I think he's sitting on a pretty nice year.